Jen here. So I'm trying to get back into the mode of making regular uploads. It's been a little difficult. I wanted to make some changes in my life, and so I got rid of 888 videos on my other channel. I didn't know it would get rid of my subscribers and my subscriptions though, so it is what it is at this point. Trying to help people to see what's going on is no easy task, but I'm so glad that bigger channels are starting to show things like this to people. And maybe, as sad as it is, maybe people will then start to understand what's happening if someone with a bigger platform and more popular channel, speaks on that. For some reason, we love our celebrity, and hopefully it helps. I really hope that it does. Now, I'm going to show 2 screenshots from another channel, which we are actually allowed to do. Please don't come at me for copyright. This is fair use. I'm not using their video. I'm not using their, even the sound. So it's just a screenshot. But I want to show you something interesting, and I've noticed this for a couple of years now. I'm going to be brutally honest. I don't even know if Pope Francis is still with us. We see him disappear like a hologram sometimes. And that's, that is what they do. They show you what they're doing, even if they don't tell you. And then it's, well, you allowed us. We showed you, and you didn't intervene. You didn't stop us. No matter how you try to justify anything in your heart or mind, wrong is still wrong. And, they will face the consequences for that. One day their conscience will be overloaded. One day they will pass on. One day they will meet judgment, and there will be consequences for the deception. So let's try not to get caught up in that aspect. My job, or my goal, is just to try and help people see what's happening. It's my belief that America is a giant Truman Show. I can't say anything about other countries. I've not been to any. But I definitely know that what they show us is not the truth. Only because I have a good eye for deceptions via tech. I've worked with a lot of different apps. I've worked with Background Eraser before it was even a thing. Put myself in places that I've never been to. And we know that technology at least is 50 years ahead of what they show us, simply so that we can look at things and be astounded and amazed. When in reality, it's just the progress of technology. And so let me show you a little bit of this, what I noticed. Now, I watched this video. I actually watched it. It's Rome Reports in English. It's pretty cool if you are, if you've been raised Catholic, if you know anything about the culture, or if you want to keep your eye on the Pope. I watch for all those reasons. And here's the thing. I want to make this very clear. Though I come from a Christian type paradigm, I don't see the gospel or the scriptures the way that most people do. And I think it would, how hard would it be, to raise a whole generation of children on a book that you wrote yourself, or that you had AI write so that it had all those codes in it. If you had a computer write it, how hard would it be to make those prophecies appear to come true through technology or through our screens? We should have noticed a long, long time ago that if it's on the screen, I don't care if they call it news, I don't care what they call it, if it's on there, what we are seeing is actors and actresses in a play. Sadly, I'm experiencing that in real life too. I've been gaslighted, I don't know how long, my entire life, about not driving and not leaving the area. So I have a lot in common with Truman, and because of that, my senses are heightened. And because of some other things, I have explored DMT and whatnot. And I might get into that aspect on my other channel. But whenever I show you things, trust that it's not me, I was not a bender. I wasn't hallucinating or anything like that. And when I say I still look into DMT, it's not what you think it is. But I'll get into that in another video. So what's the first thing you notice? Well, I see a lot of white. What does that mean? Well, that means we're looking at a lot of empty chairs, and they do this for television. It's a television trick. And again, my mom owned video stores. Actors would come and pose with her for pictures to promote their movies, even in small video stores. Yes, they did that. It was a thing. She met Wings Hauser and Gary Busey, which they're not super great actors, but, just to let you know a little bit more about my background. So what they do is they will fill the seats closest to the event and usually only film that section, right? They will only film that in like the thematic version so that it's going across a landscape. Normally they don't do things above like this, and I think that's why they're panicking now, because regular people have drones. We can fly one up and see what's around us. I've actually played with the idea of doing that myself. So of course I'll include a link if you feel like helping out with that. Anything that I do like that, I try to share with the channel. So they do this to make it appear that there's more people than there really is. But do you see all the white? All that white means those are empty seats. Another thing they do, and I'm not sure what this does, I think it makes it look like there's more people than there is. Now you can see we're not really too far up here, right? But you're seeing, again, a lot of white in the crowd. A lot of that is hats. They will have people dress very similarly. They will have them put on a white hat, and then they'll have like white roses or carnations around. And it actually, if you're high up enough, it looks like a bunch of tiny little heads, a bunch of people. Now I'm going to make this bigger and try to... Do you see all those empty seats? They said there were 30,000 people here when the Pope went to Bahrain. Do you see all the empty seats? That's definitely not 30,000. And if we keep going, you can see what I meant about the little white. It's almost like they're white flowers, right? People do give the Pope flowers for whatever reason. Again, I've never been to Vatican City. I'd love to go. It's one of my bucket list dreams. But you see all the white? You see how it's even over here in this little area? I believe those are flowers, because you can see that the people's heads are bigger than those. Right there, there's a gentleman kind of to the left of that. It looks like a door, a gate. A gate, that comes up often on my channels. We're going to explore more of that too. There are high strangeness events in my life daily. So this is why I take my time these days and I try to gather my thoughts and decide what I need to show people and what I don't need to show people. Because let's be real, the online stalking and terrorism that I've faced has been pretty bad. And it's played a lot on my mental health and my physical health and my well-being. It's not been good for me. And so those people, they should feel bad. They should feel bad about what they did to me and how they made me feel, and the slander that they put out and the damage that it did to my family. They should understand that. But understand that I have almost every single video that I made. So a few I'll be uploading. I will mark them as re-uploads, just so y'all know. And if you want to subscribe, that's Berean Jen 03, but that's going to be more of a spiritual take on things, where I just try to show how God is at work, even though we're dealing with all this deception. So if you're interested. So we got a lot of empty seats there. It really doesn't look like 30,000. And then we can deduce that whatever is in that front row there, that's not entirely heads, because you have people right next to them. And you can tell the people from whatever. I think they're flowers. I think they're like white roses or carnations or something. Now, I'm going to go to the next shot. Maybe you can see this one a little better. Now, again, you see, and it wasn't as fuzzy. I was able to see all the empty seats. Now, I also watched a video about Pope John Paul. He was very beloved by the Catholic Church. But I want to say, too, that when you see politicians, or when you see people like the Pope, these famous figures, these pretty much celebrated figures, celebrity, when you see them on television and you see a crowd behind them, oftentimes that crowd isn't even there. That's a green screen. They have extras somewhere else doing that. Number one, it's for protection, I'd imagine, since what happened to Kennedy, if that was even real. And I'm just being honest here, they play a lot. And when people want to retire from the public life, they will oftentimes have to fake their own deaths just so they get left alone. I can't judge them for things like that because I'm not in their position, but it definitely seems like a possibility. But I wanted to show this to you, and I want you to get a good eye when you're watching things like this, when you're watching a politician or a church figure, or just a celebrity stand and speak, and there's a crowd around them. Is the crowd the same size? Are the banners the same size? Are they looking in the right direction? Are they clapping at the right moments? We're facing a whole lot of deception, and I don't know why they do this. I actually thought that Mr. Trump was no longer with us because we hadn't seen a new video of him in so long. But again, we don't have access to this man. All we have access to are videos that they show us. They could film things years in advance and just start playing them on a loop. Much like I've seen with the news the last couple of years, I've seen stories just literally regurgitated. And, they changed the date, but the video itself is not changed. And we're facing a lot of that. The best way that you can get yourself tuned for this is to turn the sound down and just watch with your eyes, because once your ears are taken out of the equation, your eyes have to work a little harder, so that sense, your sense of sight, is heightened. I've been living in that state with all of my senses for a few years now, ever since I had my NDE and some experiences with DMT. And once that happened, the dreams that I had, those were all, I was sober. They were nap dreams in the middle of the day, most of them, two of them, the most prolific ones. And anyways, we are facing a lot of deception, and so it's a good idea to get your senses heightened. If you need to get your sense of hearing heightened to a point where you're able to hear things in other rooms, walk around your house with a blindfold for 30 minutes a day. I tell you what, I used to do that as a kid just for fun, and now I do it sometimes as an adult. It helps relieve the stress of the eyes because we are so bombarded, and it lets my ears really, work a little harder, which I need because I have problem ears. There are things that we can do on a daily basis through our own physiology, through our own mentality, and through what's called parapsychology. We can do things to help our own body to work in alignment with our spirit and our soul, and to, again, heighten those senses so they're actually working for us, because this society, we're so bombarded with propaganda all the time, 24/7, everywhere we look, everything we hear. And so sometimes your senses need to take a break. And that's what I've been doing. I've been breaking from videos so that I can, again, look at this all with a fresh eye along with you guys and try to show people what's happening. We are literally in the Truman Show, and I don't know you or where you're at, but I am. I can speak for my own self that I've had experiences just like Truman. If you're interested in those videos, I'll see if I still have them, and I will post them. Leave me a comment below. Let me know if you have a story you want to share anonymously, and I'll give you the email to this channel. And I hope that you are all keeping your heads on a swivel, staying alert, being as healthy as you can, taking care of your own health and well-being, and always, always seeking truth, even if it doesn't line up with your normal paradigm. You guys have a blessed day, and we'll talk again soon. Bye.